I have been teaching Spanish for a while now to many people that want to move to Spain or that they are living in Spain, and they share, many of them, the problem that they don't feel confident enough to speak with Spaniards. It's a common problem, and I've seen them trying to solve it in different ways, but often these ways don't work. They have tried to do it through learning more grammar. Maybe they bought a new book and they said, maybe with this book I will feel confident after I read this big book. Maybe they have tried to learn more vocabulary, because if they know more vocabulary, they will always have words to say in any conversation, and nothing will surprise them during those conversations with native speakers. Maybe if I do more practice in general with Duolingo or grammar drills, then I will be fast to conjugate and I will not get stuck during a conversation. And after they do these things, they try to have those conversations with the native speakers and they see that they feel the same way, they don't feel confident, and they have the same problems as before, not learning, not remembering the exact words they wanted to say, or not coming up with the right conjugation, etc. So what does work? What I have seen working in my clients, it's super simple. How to become confident speaking in Spanish actually is just to speak in Spanish with Spaniards or any other person that speaks Spanish. So this may sound obvious, and I guess it would be obvious, but for some reason people are not doing it. So it's not obvious, I guess. If you would like to be good at public speaking and feel confident doing public speaking, a part of it to gain that confidence would require to do public speaking. Maybe you could start speaking to the mirror. Maybe after you would speak to one person that you know, maybe two people, maybe then 10 people, etc. But at some point, you will need to do the activity that you want to become confident at, and then that will help you become more confident. So these ideas of doing more grammar or doing more verbs before the next interaction, because in the last one I didn't feel confident, but I want to be confident for the next one, sometimes hides procrastination. Yes, I could be having now a conversation that would help me to become more confident in my ability to speak Spanish. However, I am not ready. I need to learn more. That's something that I see many learners going through. They have this reasoning, and the fact is that in many cases that's just a way to postpone the activity that they fear, which is speaking in Spanish with native speakers, especially because that will prevent them from social rejection, social embarrassment, getting stuck, being ridiculed, etc. All these, how to say, all these movies in your head that may happen or may not happen, but even if they happen, they are not so bad in the end. That fear is preventing you actually from becoming more confident. So how does someone become more confident when speaking a language? So if you go and speak, two things are going to happen. First of all, you are going to expose yourself to what you fear. if you expose yourself to what you fear repeatedly, you will fear it less with time. Maybe the first time that you needed to drive your car, you felt fear to have an accident. After you did it for hundreds of hours, maybe you don't feel this fear anymore. Maybe you don't even think about this possibility. And like this with many other activities. Once you speak many times with native speakers of Spanish, you will realize that it's not so terrible. And second, it's not so bad if you do mistakes. And third, it's even good if you do mistakes. So why is it important to do mistakes? Because, for example, there is this story of one of my clients. She wanted to say sorry to someone that she met, but she was learning Spanish and had just a few sentences that she could say, and she tried to say, "I'm sorry" to that person, and she said, "por ciento." So you may know that "por ciento" doesn't mean "I'm sorry." Actually, it doesn't mean anything. Por ciento. What she wanted to say was "lo siento." And we talked about it, and she realized the mistake. And the thing is that that mistake was good for her as a language learner, because language is not exactly or simply an intellectual activity. It's also emotional, and it's also social in many ways. And how you feel about the process is going to interfere about how much you learn from the process. And the fact that she had this mistake and that now she wants to do it well next time, she's going to remember, just because of one mistake, she's going to remember that "I'm sorry" is "lo siento" in Spanish. So you can think about, with just this one iteration, this situation, she's going to not have to do practicing about this word in particular, this words in particular, with flashcards or other methods of memorizing, because she already has one memory that was important to her that she will remember. So the first part is that you expose yourself to this situation that you don't feel confident about, which could be ordering a restaurant or talking with Spaniards, etc. And the more you do it, the less fear you will feel, and the more confident you will be at doing this. Second thing, a big part of gaining this confidence is not gained through more linguistic tools or more knowledge of the language. It's gained because you try to do something in a social context and you achieve it. So, for example, I'm going to go to the supermarket, I'm going to ask about where is a certain product in Spanish, and let's see what happens. Once that happens and I receive what I want, and the person working in the supermarket tells me where this product is, for example, I go and I say, I'm looking for the cheese in Spanish, ¿dónde está el queso? And they tell me, and I go there and I see that in fact it's there, the product I'm looking for. That's going to be stored in my memory as a victory, let's say, a small win. And this small win is going to teach me that, first of all, I can achieve things in Spanish. Second, this product I'm looking for, the cheese, queso, is a word that now I have learned inside of a context, and I will remember it better than, for example, people when they use Duolingo or tools like this. Those words are not in a context, but if you are in a supermarket speaking about the things of the supermarket, those words happen in a context and you learn them. Or if you are in a bar with friends, the words that you're going to say happen inside of a context. It will be easier to remember. So we need these two things. First of all, to expose to having those conversations. And second, once we achieve what we want, speaking, we will become more confident because we will see that we can do it. We can be able to speak in Spanish. And slowly, but consistently, the confidence to speak in Spanish will grow. That's all. And if you want help to learn Spanish faster, you are moving to Spain or you will move to Spain, you can book a call. The link is in the description to talk with me, and we will see your level and your needs and what we can do together to help you achieve your goals in Spanish. Hasta pronto.